All right, interestingly, we've noticed a trend on our channel. A lot of people have corrected me that I'm actually not a quadriplegic, I'm a paraplegic. Little did I know, I've been a para this whole time and I had full access to my arms and hands.
On a serious note though, we need to talk, guys. We need to really...
I am a quad,
yeah.
Okay? And in this video, we will explain all of that.
Yes. We know it can be confusing knowing the difference between a quadriplegic and a paraplegic, and it can be misleading when you see a quadriplegic use their arms.
Like I can.
Yeah, a lot of times I think we have this misconception about quadriplegia and that those who are quadriplegics can't move their arms, which is not true.
No, it is not. So, we want to inform. We have the technical definition of a quad and para, but we're also going to show you some practical examples.
Yes.
We are using spinalcord.com to get the most official definition we can.
According to spinalcord.com, paraplegia occurs in spinal cord injuries below the first thoracic spinal levels. Paraplegics are able to fully use their arms and hands, but the degree to which their legs are disabled depends on the injury. Quadriplegia,
like me,
also known as tetraplegia, refers to a spinal cord injury above the first thoracic vertebrae or within the cervical sections C1 through C8. The result is some degree of paralysis in all four limbs, the legs and arms. The degree of paralysis varies depending on the nature of the injury, the extent to which you've undergone rehabilitative therapy, and oftentimes on factors that are not yet well understood.
That is the spinal cord injury definition of tetraplegia, or quadriplegia, same thing, and paraplegia.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that only spinal cord injuries can be classified as quads or paras.
Yes.
If you have cerebral palsy that affect all four limbs, both arms and both legs, then technically you're a quadriplegic.
Yep.
If you have spina bifida and only your legs are affected, then that means you're a paraplegic.
Yeah.
So it's not just spinal cord injury people like me who can be classified as quad or para.
Yeah.
We know that can be a little confusing. There's a lot of technical jargon in that definition. What we want to do is show you guys some practical examples of how different spinal cord injury breaks result in different levels of paralysis.
The first example we have is our good friend Cruz, who you all know very well. Cruz is a C4 quadriplegic. His level of injury is just above Cole's. So if Cole had an injury, I don't even know, I wouldn't even say an inch.
Maybe even less than an inch.
Yeah, he would have had the same function as Cruz has.
So being a C4 quadriplegic, over the last decade or so, I've been able to regain some movement in my arms, mostly my right arm. A lot of shoulder movement, which allows me to flip my arm. Got some core movement, which allows me to kind of lean forward and left and right.
So as you can see, Cruz can't fully use his biceps. He can use a little bit of his shoulder on the right side. He has no hand function. He controls his wheelchair with
a sip and puff. That's this straw that you see right here in front of me. And it is all with my breath. So I blow hard to go forward into this straw, blow soft to go right, suck hard to go back, suck soft to go left. It's crazy technology. Thank God we have it, because it allows me to get where I need to go, when I need to go there. This is how I do it.
In order to get in bed, Cruz has other people help him into bed. He's unable to do those transfers himself. So he has a lot of assistance.
My injury, being one level just below Cruz, is very, very close. Gives me access to my shoulders, my biceps, and my forearms, and even a little bit of wrist, which I was very lucky to have. And this allows me a lot of extra function. So, for example, if I fall over to the side, which I do in videos, I'm able to throw my arm over here and then grab and pull myself up. And I don't have the core to do that, but since I have my arms, I can use my arms to pull and hook. Even if I fall forward, I can do pretty much the same thing. If I were one level higher like Cruz and I fell forward, I would probably need help to get up. Now, we also have a friend named Emmy who I rehabbed with back when I first broke my neck. She is in that very small space right in between me and Cruz. So she needs a little bit more help than I do. Here's a little clip transferring into bed. Like, she needs a little bit more assistance than I would. Luckily, she's a very little girl, so her dad can pick her up very easy. So I'm 200 pounds, not the same. But I think the difference between Cruz, me, and Emmy demonstrate how the smallest little difference in your injury can translate to such a huge difference in function. And that's a key thing to remember with spinal cord injuries, because everyone is so unique in their function.
Even though Cruz doesn't move his arm as much and Cole moves his arm, more, they're all still considered quadriplegics because all of their breaks are within their cervical vertebrae. So the next quadriplegic example that we have is Jay. He is a C7 complete quadriplegic.
Which is just about the lowest level.
So Jay has full tricep function.
Which allows him to do things like high five very easily.
High five.
I would have a hard time doing that because I don't have triceps. So if like Cruz put her hand up too high, then I would, oops.
Hit me in the process.
I'm sorry. See, if I had triceps, I wouldn't have hit her. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this. I really didn't mean to do that.
I know you did it. It's okay.
Thank you. I can't go too high. My arm just falls because I can't stop that from happening, unfortunately. So that also helps Jay with something like transferring too.
Yes, so he's able to transfer from his wheelchair to his bed. Although he does have hand function and he does have triceps, you can still tell it's a little bit difficult for him to do so, especially clearing the wheel. The hardest part for a lot of people when transferring is that wheel.
Yeah, getting over the bump. That big bump, because the wheel wants to stop you.
Yeah.
Something that his hand function also allows him to do is more easily like pick up something from the ground like a tennis ball. He doesn't have full hand function, but it's just enough that it gives him just a little bit of an edge.
Yeah.
So when I pick up a tennis ball, I have to, push it up against my wheel and really try to work my fingers around it and then hook my arm to get back up, and it's a little more challenging.
Yeah.
Are you gonna help me pick up my lucky tennis ball? I guess I have to do it myself.
So sitting on the side of the bed, I forgot to mention earlier, he can sit up pretty well without using his arms. I would slump a lot, and I need my arms to lock out to keep my back straight and when I would be in the same position. And we'll show you later on with the paras how it changes a lot once you get more of that core back.
Yes. Now let's make it a little bit more complicated and throw a little something else in there.
As if it's not already complicated enough.
So there are also different levels within quadriplegia. Complete versus incomplete. With a complete injury, it means that your spinal cord at that level of injury is completely severed. With incomplete, it just means that there's a little some connection getting between that spinal cord at that level of injury.
Above and below the injury. There's a little bit of connection remaining.
With that being said, we have a couple of incomplete injuries. Our first being Zack. He is a C4 incomplete quadriplegic. This allows him to stand. With assistance of others, he's able to stand, and he can lock his knees out, which allows him to stay standing, which is a pretty big deal.
Although he has to fight through the spasms, as you can see from the video.
Yes, he's very spastic.
Interestingly though, even with the incomplete status and being able to use like his legs, for example, that doesn't help him too much with like everyday functions. He still has to use a wheelchair. It's not like he can walk around freely. Even with an incomplete though, there are lots of different levels. For example, I am technically incomplete because, believe it or not, I can barely flex my right quad and my anterior tibialis, which is like your shin muscle. That technically classifies me as incomplete. Now, functionally and practically speaking, it doesn't do a dang thing. So when I tell people, I'm like, well, I'm functionally complete, even though there's the slightest little tiny signals making it through.
Yeah. So continuing with Zack, you can see that picking things up is still difficult for him because he still doesn't have that hand function or tricep function like someone with a lower injury does. So Zack uses a sip and puff also to control a device that allows him to pick up things. So it's a really cool device, assistive technology that allows him to pick up things. Something that Cole should probably get because that'll be really helpful too. But
as an OT, she loves all that assistive technology stuff.
Yeah, why not?
It'd be awesome if my incomplete injury were a little bit more incomplete, like our friend Ryan's. Ryan, for example, is an incomplete injury, but he has pretty good finger function because there are enough signals making it through to help him move his fingers. Now, it's not all the way, again, But it's just another example of the levels of not only quadriplegia, but incomplete versus complete quadriplegia too.
All right, guys. Everyone we mentioned are all considered quadriplegics.
All of them.
Incomplete, complete, some hand function, no hand function, no bicep function, tricep function. It varies. You just never know what you get. So with that being said, quadriplegics are able to move their arms. They can.
Yes.
Not all will, but they can.
I am a quadriplegic.
So moving on, let's show you some examples of paraplegics that might better help your understanding.
These examples show how paras have not only full arm and hand function, but also core function as well. Things like picking something up off the ground are much easier. Not only because they have their fingers and dexterity to grab it, but they also have core muscles in some examples, depending on what level para you are.
So with this example, we have Jack in action. He is a paraplegic with core. His level of injury is much lower within his thoracic vertebrae. Honestly, I'm not exactly sure where,
Yeah.
but it's much lower. And so he's able to actually transfer from the floor back to his wheelchair.
Yeah, which is super impressive. I only
Awesome.
know like a couple quads that can do that who are like super quads.
Yeah. He's also able to pick something up from the side of his chair, pick something up from the front of his chair.
No problem.
No. And also say hi to his cat, Jack, who's
Yeah.
who hops
Coolest
on his
cat
lap.
ever.
So Jack in action can do a lot of things, as you can see, because of his level of function.
That being said, this is Dimitri. He is a paraplegic who does not have core. And so you can see transferring is a little bit different with him. Sitting on the side of the bed, he slumps a little bit like a quad would just because he doesn't have a core, kind of like a quad. But that being said, he still has all of his arms, hands, all that function he has.
Yeah. Paras function pretty well having the upper body strength that they do. Some have core function, some do not have core function, which makes quite a difference too when it comes to transferring. But paras are pretty capable of transferring on their own, and a decent amount of quads can do it depending on their level of injury.
Yeah, and level of fitness.
Fitness and their size, you know.
Yeah.
If you're really small, you usually can throw your body a little bit easier.
I am not small.
Who's thicker.
Not small.
But that's okay. We can figure it out and learn over time.
Good thing Charisma's down with the thickness.
I like the thickness. Anyways, so we hope that seeing the difference between quadriplegics and paraplegics, as well as incomplete versus complete injuries, can help better your understanding when you see people with a spinal cord injury.
And if y'all are in the comment section and you see someone call me a quad, just direct them to this video.
Yeah. And we hope this video can teach a lot of people as well who aren't even from our channel and happen to find our video. We hope that this helped you learn a little bit more.
People have asked why we put quadriplegic at the titles of our videos. We do this so people who are searching about quadriplegics, or someone who may be coming off a fresh injury, or a family member who had a loved one who just became a quadriplegic, we put it in our titles so when people search that, they can find our videos and find a video like this and hopefully learn a little bit more about what to expect in their new crazy situation.
Yes. We don't call Cole a quadriplegic. we call
hey, quadriplegic,
Cole,
what's going on? No, I'm Cole.
We know Cole's Cole, but if we say Cole getting into an airplane, no one's going to know who Cole is. But if we say quadriplegic getting into an airplane, people are going to, oh, this is the video I'm looking for. They can search that. So it's just much better to put those titles in it to bring people to our channel to help bring more awareness.
All right, peeps. Thanks for watching. Hope that helped y'all learn a little bit.
And if you click on the description below, we have a couple of links to everyone who helped us out with this video. Thank you once again for sending us all this stuff. Give them a check out and follow them as well. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and stay positive. Peace.
See ya.
Is that good?
Seriously, my hand is clenching up on me. When I reach really far, my hand clenches shut on me, and obviously you can't pick anything up with a fist. So I gotta open my hand up by doing this. All right, let's try this again. There we go. Haha!
Really? Good job.
Cool.